Hello everyone, welcome back with me Miss Dwi with English lesson. And our topic today is about narrative text or story. So before we go, what is narrative text or story? Well, narrative text has some past events or actions that connect one another. I mean, in one story, there are several actions that happened in the past. And those all actions come together to make one story. When we make a narrative text or story, we will use narrative tenses. So, at the end of this video, I hope that you can make a story that has some actions. And because there are some tenses, I will explain one by one. So, let's get ready. Nah, first, you can use simple past. For the example, look at those times. In one day, you already had several things you did. Nah, because you want to tell your story from 7 a.m. to 13, so you can use simple past from the first story till the end of the story. When you use simple past, just keep the story simple. And each story or each event happened in a specific time. For the example, at 7, I departed from Jakarta Airport, and at 8, I arrived at Narita International Airport, Japan. At 9, the hotel staff picked me up. At 10, I had a breakfast at the hotel. At 12, I lost my phone. And at 13, I told the hotel security. Remember, simple past events happened in a specific time in the past. Now, when you transform all the stories or events into one complete stories, you don't have to write the times because it is clear if simple past happened in specific time in the past. So, if you tell a story using simple past, so first action finished, and then second action finished, and then third action finished, and continued with some other actions. Alright, let's move on to the second way. Nah, in this second way, for the example, you were doing something and it wasn't finished yet. So, you were still doing something ongoing. For the example, from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m., I was having a lunch at the hotel. Remember, this event happened in 1 hour. Nah, if there is an ongoing event in the past in a specific time, we call it past continuous. Nah, we've only got one event that I was having a lunch at the hotel. And where is another? Please remember that narrative text has some actions or event. So now you can look at the screen. I have so many events. The first event or action is I was having a lunch at the hotel. And then during that lunch, there are more 4 actions happen during when I had a lunch. Oh, what's happening? What's going on? Now, let we look carefully. during that 1 hour from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m., I was having a lunch, and then there are four actions happened. The first, 1:15, a couple came into the restaurant. And then the second, I was having a lunch at the hotel, and the waiter brought them food. All right, they had to eat. And when I was having a lunch at the hotel, at 1:40, the lady screamed loudly and complained about the food. Oh, this lady disturbed my lunch. And then, when I was having a lunch at the hotel at 1:50, the restaurant manager apologized for the situation. Look, I only do one thing. I was having a lunch for 1 hour, but during that lunch, there are four more events that happened in a specific time during my lunch. So, I can say, when I was having a lunch at the hotel, a couple came into the restaurant. The waiter brought them food. The lady screamed loudly and complained about the food. And the last, the restaurant manager apologized for the situation. Nah, in this kind of narrative story, the first, we started with I was having a lunch with a sentence in past continuous, something or action that happens or ongoing in a specific time, and then come in with some simple past sentences or events. Alright, let me have a little summary about the first and the second. Simple past, we use it to tell about what happened in a specific time in the past. They are short events and finished completely in the past. For the example, she came, we arrived, John got mad. Nah, while the past continuous is to use to tell about an ongoing action in the past. For the example, you were reading a book at 10 a.m. She was cooking in the kitchen. She was traveling when the robber got her. That's so unfortunate. Now, how if there are two actions completed in the past and we would like to emphasize or we want to make it clear if there is one event that finished earlier? Yes, we would like to tell the listener or the reader that there is one event that finished earlier. Now, let we look at the chart. First action happened at 1 p.m. and then after that 2 p.m. second action happened, that is visited museum. So here it is clear, right, that the breakfast happened earlier. After that, visited museum. Nah, because the breakfast finished earlier, so we can say, I had enjoyed my breakfast at hotel before I visited the museum. This person woke up at 11, so that's why he had breakfast at 1 p.m. Okay, let me repeat. I had enjoyed my breakfast at hotel before I visited the museum. Nah, if we want to tell about there is an earlier action before we did another action in the past, we use past perfect. Past perfect. And for the second action, we use simple past. Okay, there is a rule. For the first action, please use past perfect. You just need subject, had, and verb 3. Whatever subject, use had and verb 3. It's really up to you if you want to put the past perfect in the first of the sentence or at the end of the sentence. For the example, I had enjoyed my breakfast at hotel before I visited the museum. Or, I visited the museum after I had enjoyed my breakfast at hotel. In front or at the back, the most important is the first action should be in past perfect. Okay, we are almost at the end of the discussion. The last, if we want to tell how long something ongoing in the past before another event happened. There is a difference between past continuous with this one. If in the past continuous, we don't tell how long. In the past continuous, we don't tell how long. Now, please look at the illustration. For the example, my watching TV agenda is from 1 p.m. until 4 p.m. Nah, watching TV agenda is the first action, and the second action is the light went off. So, I already watched the TV for 3 hours, from 1 p.m. until 3 p.m. But actually, after the light is on, I would continue watching until 4 p.m. Listen, in this part, I want to emphasize or I want to tell the listener or reader that how long I have been doing something. So, when the light went off, I had been watching for 3 hours. For 3 hours is the duration I watched the TV before another action happened. So, I had been watching TV for 3 hours when the light went off. I had been watching for 3 hours is the first action that was ongoing in the past for sometimes 3 hours. And it is called past perfect continuous. Past perfect continuous. You only need subject, had been, and verb ing. Alright, and for the second action happened in the middle of the first action. It is shorter and we use simple past. Wow, we use simple past in so many tenses, in so many cases. Alright, you can use for 3 hours to tell about how long, or since 1 p.m. to tell about the starting point. Finally, we arrived at summary part. We are at the end of the discussion. For past perfect is used to tell a finished action in the past before another event happened, while past perfect continuous is used to tell ongoing action in the past. And then in some duration, when another event happened in the past. No rush, just study carefully, or you can repeat the information more and more. You might not understand right away after watching once. You can play the video twice, 3 times, or 4 times until you get better understanding. And then, after that, you can discuss with your classmates or your English teacher. Don't forget to take notes for important informations. Alright, I wish you good luck with your English. See you in the next video. Bye bye.